Hey guys, and welcome back to another Warframe video. Today we're going to be talking about the Zakti Pistol. And at first, when I originally saw this, I thought it was going to be like the Acrid, but it's nothing like it at all. Basically, it only has 3 shots in the magazine, has a decent fire rate and high status, and basically what happens is it fires a needle that will stick to the enemy and then explode in a gas cloud. And as you can see here, with it fully modded, it's pretty quick, but it also has a lot of recoil, so you have to counter that. But I'm decently well, I think, at counter recoil, because this is what it is normally. So, yeah, it's pretty significant. Anyway, so all it really took is 2 formas, so 2 Vs for the Hornet Strike and the one of the multi-shot or fire rate mods to stick in here, doesn't matter which. If you wanted to add another forma, you could probably swap out a 90% elemental for either something else or the 60% rather for a 90% elemental or something else. But because the thing has gas damage, you're going to want as high status as possible so that gas cloud that explodes can actually proc gas, otherwise it's just going to deal gas damage. When it hits enemies, it will proc impact 100% of the time, and then when the needle explodes, it'll also stagger that enemy that it was stuck to, and that stagger actually allows you to do finishers on enemies. And I've heard people saying that because of the stagger, this pistol would be the best for dual wielding with a glaive, but that's actually not true, because glaives usually have very slow finisher attack animations, and as well as the fact that their damage is just lower compared to other weapons. You don't have to restrict yourself to a glaive to be able to do the finisher, so I'm not sure why that's going around currently. And this video is also going to be a mini rant because they changed the Simulacrum in some good ways and some bad. As you can see here, we have a new UI down here, and now you can pause the AI of the enemy, you can kill the enemies, and this is important, and you can also make yourself invincible, so you don't have to worry about what frame to use. But I'm probably never gonna keep this on just because I like the challenge of just trying to showcase the weapon in real time, basically. The reason there's kill enemies is because when you spawn enemies, there's 2 things that happen. One, you spawn them. See the enemies over there. They don't die unless you kill them or you press the kill command. And you notice here, the heavy gunner thing vanished. And if I kill the heavy gunner and go back here, this list is gone. Which means if you're someone, I know a couple people who do this, they like to set up specific enemies at a time. Like, say their specific enemy squad to fight is this. They can't simulate it, kill them, and say, oh shit, I kind of made a mistake, and then go back. You have to reselect them all again. And, of course, there's still the issue where even though I'm on solo right now, I still can't fucking pause this place. So, I guess Digital Extremes, I mean, obviously, barely anybody's complaining about this, I'm sure. But for someone like me that likes to test weapons, and then I'll go on the wiki, or write something down on a notepad from results from testing. I can't do that anymore because I hear enemies fighting in the background now, so it's even worse than before. And right there I got distracted by enemies because I could hear them yelling at me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a squad and then fight them. It's going to be just Grineer for now, but at the end I'm going to do slip in a proper non-voiced like build video where I show it against Grineer and Corpus side-by-side tests and stuff like that, just so it's as proper as possible, because I don't like to just do a first look video like this because I don't think it's accurate enough. And we're going to be testing it against a heavy gunner and a napalm at level 100, which should be sufficient enough to showcase the weapon. We're going to start with the heavy gunner first and try to shoot for the head as much as possible. And as you can see, as it explodes, the heavy gunner was stunned, but also I have heat damage, so it actually procs the heat on the explosion. A couple more shots to the head, and bam. So that was pretty good. Okay. Right, because there's that heavy gunner from before. Well, we'll take her down too, I guess. As long as we hit the head, it should be fine. Obviously, the crit chance is pretty low on this thing, but similar to most weapons that have a high fire rate and good status chance, this thing strips armor still pretty well. And then the gas proc allows it to have some crowd control. So, on my first impressions on the weapon, it's pretty good, it's pretty solid, and it's pretty good for Corpus despite the gas damage having a reduction to their actual health, because once the toxin procs, it's good for crowds. And because this is the first gas-based weapon in the game, you can actually use heat and toxin mods separately, so you can have gas and heat Like I have here, I have corrosive gas and heat. Or you could have gas and toxin, which is extremely good against Corpus, and I'll be showing that because that's my main Corpus build in the end of this video. And of course, before I go, I wanted to show off the staggering that I mentioned in the beginning. Once it explodes, it allows you to do a finisher on an enemy. And then sometimes when they're on the ground like that, you can also do another finisher. So it's a pretty good weapon for a melee player, because you can do a lot of good finishers. And see, it only took a couple shots and a couple finishers from my broken war to kill him. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's no reason to really use it with glaives, except for maybe like just because you can launch glaives and throw them, because most swords do more finisher damage. So again, not sure why that's going around currently, that this is like really good with glaives, but it's no better than any other melee weapon. So yeah, that's the end of this part of the video. I'll leave you guys with the actual test. So yeah, thanks for watching.